The senator from Nicholas County.
Thank you, Mr. President. A few weeks ago, my wife and I took a Saturday afternoon and drove down to Beckley and watched a movie, Hidden Figures. Wow. I never had a clue. But today we have the opportunity to do something that's quite remarkable in honoring Katherine Coleman Johnson and her contributions to science, technology, engineering, and math. Math, most importantly. I had no clue what her contributions as a original member of this state had on the space program. When we look at what her contributions were, when at the early advent of the computer technology, nobody would trust the computer but Mrs. Johnson. That speaks volumes, but that also tells us how important it is to be concentrating on honing our skills and encouraging children throughout our country to continue improving in the areas of science, technology, engineering, and math. This is a great day, and Mr. President, I will tell you that as a registered professional engineer who relies on what science and mathematicians have done in the development of many of the things that I rely upon and their work, I am grateful for those who have blazed the pathway and brought us to where we are today. I urge adoption of this naming resolution.
Question before the Senate is adoption of the resolution. All those in favor will say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. I declare the resolution adopted. Clerk has another resolution.
House Concurrent Resolution 94, proclaiming and making August 26th of each year to be Katherine Johnson Day, celebrating her many NASA achievements and establishing the United States as the premier explorer of outer space, including the moon landing and the NASA shuttle, and as the recipient of the nation's highest civilian honor, the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Message be received. The senator from Jefferson County.
Mr. President, I request unanimous consent that the resolution be taken up for immediate adoption, committee reference be dispensed with, and the resolution be put upon its adoption.
Is there objection? Chair hears none. Question for the Senate is adoption of resolution. All those in favor will vote yea. Those opposed will vote nay. The clerk will prepare the machine. Has every member voted? Has every member voted? So the clerk will close the machine and ascertain the results. On this question, there being 34 yeas, 0 nays, 0 absent and not voting, more than the majority of those elected having voted in the affirmative, I declare the resolution passed. The clerk has another resolution.
Senate Resolution 66 by Senators Rucker, Carmichael, Mr. President, Boso, Clements, Stalling, Swope, Plymel, Unger, Beach, and Miller, honoring Katherine Johnson, West Virginia native and Presidential Medal of Freedom recipient.
The senator from Jefferson County.
My fellow senators, Katherine Johnson is an African-American physicist and mathematician, and she is one amazing woman. She is brilliant, quite literally a rocket scientist. She was born Katherine Coleman in White Sulphur Springs, West Virginia in 1918 during the Woodrow Wilson administration. How ironic that it was Woodrow Wilson and his cabinet that instituted a policy of racial segregation in the federal workforce. But Katherine Johnson contributed greatly to defeating Wilson's policy. Here's some background about her life. According to NASA, for whom she dedicated decades of service, and I quote, her father, Joshua, was determined that his bright little girl would have a chance to meet her potential. He drove his family 120 miles to Institute, West Virginia, where she could continue her education through high school. Johnson's academic performance proved her father's decision was the right one. Katherine skipped through grades to graduate from high school at age 14. And she graduated from college at age 18. In 1953, after years as a teacher and later as a stay-at-home mom, she began working for NASA's predecessor, the National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics. Pretty amazing, but it gets even more so. From 1953 to 1958, Katherine Johnson worked in a segregated pool of mathematicians referred to as computers with skirts. However, because of her knowledge of analytical geometry, she was invited to participate in the previously all-male editorial board. Her contributions there were so important that, as she later said, they forgot to put her back in the pool. In 1958, when the National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics became NASA, the office was desegregated, but the office still had a glass ceiling and really glass doors. According to Johnson, as quoted in Wikipedia, we needed to be assertive as women in those days, assertive and aggressive, and the degree to which we had to be that way depended on where we were. I had to be. In the early days of NASA, women were not allowed to put their names on reports. As a result of her assertiveness, perseverance, and the quality of her work, Katherine Johnson became the first woman in her division ever to have her name on a report. Not the first black woman, the first woman. As Wikipedia reports, from 1958 until her retirement in 1986, Johnson worked as an aerospace technologist. She calculated the trajectory for the May 5, 1961 spaceflight of Alan Shepard, the first American in space. She also calculated the launch window for his 1961 Mercury mission. She plotted backup navigational charts for astronauts in case of electronic failures. When NASA used electronic computers for the first time to calculate John Glenn's orbit around the Earth, as the senator from Nicholas pointed out, officials called on Johnson to verify the computer's numbers. Glenn had asked for her specifically and had refused to fly unless Johnson verified the calculations. Katherine Johnson has co-authored 26 scientific papers. She was named West Virginia State College Outstanding Alumnus of the Year in 1999. And on November 24, 2015, President Barack Obama presented her with the Presidential Medal of Freedom. On May 5, 2016, a new 40,000-square-foot building was named and dedicated the Katherine G. Johnson Computation Research Facility at NASA's Langley Research Center in Hampton, Virginia. My parents brought me here to America from Venezuela. I feel truly blessed to have been given the opportunity to become a citizen of this great country. Opportunity is what America is all about. Today, I'm a freshman senator, and I've been told that I'm the first Hispanic woman ever to be elected to the West Virginia State Senate. However, I would quickly add that I don't consider that an accomplishment of mine. It is simply a measure of where we are today in our society, that race, ethnicity, and gender are of lesser importance in how we choose candidates for office. So in that respect, we have come a long way, and we owe a tremendous debt of gratitude to great Americans like Katherine Johnson for how far we have come. I admire Katherine Johnson. She created opportunity where none existed. She broke down barriers. She refused to take no for an answer and accomplished so much. She is the embodiment of greatness and a hero to me. It is a great honor for me to present this resolution on the behalf of the West Virginia State Senate as a tribute to this incredible woman.
Further discussion? Further discussion? If not, the question before the Senate is adoption of the resolution. All those in favor will say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. I declare the resolution adopted.